Right, we can start in a couple minutes. Just hang on. Okay. Right, so we are recording now and live streaming. So there are people who are looking at us on YouTube, but we cannot see them. Before we begin today, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are from. We wish first to offer our condolences to our regular moderator and chairperson, Shalima and Shakira, whose mother passed away yesterday. We pray for all of them and may they find strength in these difficult times. In these circumstances, we have a substitute chairperson and moderator today, and we hope that they would join us regularly, not only when we need a substitute. So we're going to talk to them about that. So over to Devika, who is our chairperson today. Unmute, unmute. Ravin, you may have to unmute her.
Thank you, Dr. Mahabir. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, we're hearing.
It is my pleasure to be part of this 138th edition of our Zoom public meeting today. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, assalamu alaikum, good evening, good morning to everyone, depending on the time zone you're joining us from, as I know there are many persons from all over the globe. I am Devika Thomas. My background is in public relations, industrial relations, project management, and also MBA in business administration. I'm also leader of the United Farmers Association. On this 138th edition of our Zoom public meeting, we wish to sincerely thank everyone who have contributed to the success of this ongoing Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian Diaspora Global Project. We have been here religiously every Sunday for the past 2 years and 10 months, 137 unbroken continuous weeks and going strong with your support. Thank you to everyone. 462 presenters have been featured from all over the world, speaking on 137 topics. Great achievement. Our weekly forum is being hosted by the Indo-Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. In order to continue this weekly program, making it bigger and better, we appreciate your suggestions and your kind donations, which of course you can contact Dr. Mahabir for. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to now introduce our moderator for this 138th edition of our Zoom public meeting. Our moderator today is Sace Magnola. She resides in Trinidad. Sace is a yoga instructor and life coach, promoting Hindi via a group called Sace and Friends, hosting various Hindu-related fun Zoom classes, translating and singing Bollywood songs and ghazals. It is now my pleasure to hand you over to our moderator, Sace Magnola.
Thank you, Devika.
Most welcome.
Yes, for that introduction. And thank you all very much. Namaste, assalamu alaikum to everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for choosing to spend this part of your Sunday or Monday morning with us. This public meeting today will take the usual form of a panel presentation, followed by questions and answers. To avoid trolls invading our program, our IT manager, Ravin Ramsingh, has muted everybody. Speakers advise not to admit anyone, not to unmute anyone, and not to allow anyone to share their screens. This virtual event should not exceed 2 hours. Our topic today, is entitled Natural, Complementary, and Alternative Medicine in the Indian Diaspora. We will now go to our speakers, and we will go to our first speaker. Our first speaker tonight is Dr. Arvind Pathak, who is from Kenya, Africa. He's a licensed naturopathic and alternative medicine doctor who diagnoses, he treats, and he manages patients with acute and chronic conditions, concentrating on whole patient wellness. Welcome, Dr. Pathak. You have 15 minutes to speak.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay. This is nature cure and dietary concept for healthy living. We start from the okay. What is the naturopathy? The term naturopathy originates from the Greek root for suffering called pathos and the Latin root for birth, natura, and suggest natural healing. The philosophy basis and many methods of naturopathy go to back. Not Dhruv, something, sorry. Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah. Naturopathy has a healing philosophy and practice which yeah. Okay. According to nature cure means to cure your nature. We have a 4 type of nature that is according to naturopathy to balance your 5 elements like fire, air, ether, water, and space. If any elements unbalance, disease occur. Like if you have excess water in your body, you can have a swelling, edema. If lack of water, you can have dehydration. Same things like fire. If you have excess fire, called acidity, lack of fire, you can get it mucus or cold body, lack of circulation. Second one is balance your 3 dosa. According to Ayurveda, is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. To balance all 3 dosas, that is called naturopathy, nature cure. Third one is like, let me explain, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. If we have excess air in the body, that is bad. Excess Pitta, acid, that is bad. That is, I think Dr. Mona is going to explain a little bit more about the Ayurveda. So I'm not talking too much about that one. Third one is to balance your yin and yang. According to Chinese, they have only 2 types of constitution that call yin and yang. To balance both yin and yang, that is nature. And fourth one, we call to balance your behavior, attitude. Your something is happening like small things and you're taking big. Like something you can say, your husband or wife is out and they are getting little bit late. You are very upset. What happened? Is something is going to happen for them? Like this. Unnecessary thinking for that one. In the naturopathy, we have some drugless therapy we are going to use in that one. Actually, naturopathy only drugless therapy, and there is no any therapies in that one. Only water therapy, mud therapy that we are going to we are going to explain. Like we add some alternative medicines like zone reflexology, acupressure, they call, which is this therapy energize the nerve context, improving and balancing the functioning of various organs and glands. Second one, we also add acupuncture. Acupuncture consists of stimulating a specific point in the body by inserting thin sterilized needles through the skin. It is also helpful to alleviate chronic pain, and acupuncture is also called like TENS. Acupuncture is the use of electric current produced by a device for non-invasive stimulation of the nerve for therapeutic purpose. It tends to reduce both acute and chronic illness. Of course, yoga and meditation exercise that everybody nowadays knows, yoga is very famous because yoga is good for body and mind and also for soul. This helps to achieve proper blood circulation, muscle tone, and stretch, with which are essential for good health. It also strengthens the spinal cord, regulates endocrine secretions, and balance the body and mind both. Then we go for therapeutical massage. We do this consists of massaging various parts of the body therapeutically with herbal medicinal oil, which in turn help to improve the blood circulation and muscle tone and strength. Then we use mud therapy. Mud therapy, this consists of application of mud directly on the skin or which enclosed in fine cloth wrapping. It helps remove toxins, poisons, and heat from the body. Then we use also magnetotherapy. This consists of application of general and electromagnets, which are very effective for treatment of various disease. Magnetic water is also useful for balancing the polarity of the body and also for pain and inflammation and to balance your polarity. Seventh one, we are using cupping or vacuum therapy. This includes putting special cups on the skin for some time to create function, which the aim for helping the pain with pain, inflammation, blood flow, relaxation, and well-being, and also as a type of deep tissue massage. Fourth one, food and dietetics, that we are going to little bit more information about this one. But constitutional diet plan supplies the necessary life-giving nutrition to the body. Now, constitution means we are going to give diet plan according to Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, like according to Ayurveda. That we diagnose and then we prescribe according to your constitution. Most diseases are a result of poor and imbalanced diet. According to the disease and condition of the body, the diet is programmed for the patient. Moderation in eating is the most important key role. Now let me talk about a little bit today's situation, like after Corona or before Corona. People are suffering like depression, stress, anxiety, tinnitus, chest congestion, breathlessness, constipation, gas, acidity, obesity, low immunity, expensive treatment, which is very, very bad for the people who can't afford. That's why they are suffering from many problems. Higher cost of living, consumption of drugs, which is also very bad side effect for the body. Chemical infused food, like 90% people are eating, which is very, very chemicals food, like fast food or like that. And also this is happening because of Corona, many people, they are unemployed and they are become very selfish, not selfless. So With that one, they are creating many problems in that one. Naturopathy, they help in this all problem. Like according to naturopath, there are 3 causes of the disease: lack of adequate exercise, stress, and wrong diet. Now, let me go a little bit more about the exercise. To cure any disease, there should be a balance of the above 3 things. Like exercise, you do regular walking is very good. Evening and morning, if you can go do 30-minute walk, is very good for you. Because in the walking, they call, Mahatma Gandhi told, he prescribed the walking is the king of all exercise. And with the walking, you can clean your tummy, like constipation can help you, the walking. Yeah. And second one, yoga and pranayam, that I think many people know, that when we prescribe sometime, like if you are over 50, then we said you go for the hormonal exercise, something like related to your endocrine system. So you can go like that, or normal yoga poses also going to help you. But after 50, like ladies, they are suffering from the menopause, so they can go like affected to your thyroid, ovaries, adrenals, pituitary glands, pancreas is going to be good. In the gents, you can do some exercise for prostate gland. They are going to help you. In the pranayam, everybody knows maybe, if not, then there are 8 type of pranayama. We do 3 first pranayam, that is for the body cleaning pranayam. After 3, that is 5 pranayam is according to your disease. You can add in your disease, you can divide. That is very good to help you. Like first pranayam is called Bhastrika, that is cleaning procedure to clean all the gases from your nervous system or from the body. Second pranayam is called Kapalbhati, which is going to help you for the cleaning sinuses, maxillary sinuses. And third one is Anulom Vilom or pulse cleaning pranayam. These are the 3 cleaning pranayam. Then like Brahmari is good for your thyroid. Like Surya Bhedan, Chandra Bhedan, that is for pranayam, blood pressure, low and high, different. Now, other exercise you can go for the playing, but nowadays people are playing indoor games is not very good. If you go outdoor, playing is very good exercise. And also some like under 40 people are doing cardio or like that. That is not bad. You can do a gym or like that. But you have to do adequate your exercise to balance everything. Second one is stress. Now, 80 to 90% disease coming from the stress. Because whatever you are doing, that is connected with your stress. If you are driving, there is stress. If you are eating, there is stress. If you are drinking, there is stress. You think, what do you eat? What do you drink? How much chemical? How much and everything. Wherever you see, stress. In the I think our host lady, she is singer, Hindi singer, song singer, many songs like Khane mein stress, Peene mein stress, like that, different. That is songs also. So for stress, we are going to tell you like yoga and pranayam is the best source to help you. And then meditation. There's a different type of meditation in this world, but only concentrate your mind on the breathing, or you just say Om or any like a Brahma Kumari or any meditation which you like, you can do it. Before go to bed and after when you wake up, you can just little bit meditation is very good for us. Third one, we are saying laughing. Laughing is the best medicine for stress and for all the endocrine system also. Laughter medicine, we are prescribed one book is called The Healing Heart. American author is called Mr. Normal Cousins. He written a book, 2 books on heart. One is the healing heart, and second the running. The first one is whole book on the laughing therapy. If you can get it, you can read it. Very, very good and very, very effective laughing for your heart and for your mind and brain. So laughing therapy we also prescribe. In my yoga classes, we daily you in the end of the session, we do laughing, and that is best for everybody. Third one, fourth one we said for stress. We are very aware nowadays. We become very selfish. We have many friends, but we are away. If you can talk with them, or you can interacting with your loved one or anybody. So that is also going to help for the stress. Of course, hugging, sex, these are also further to removing your stress. And tender sun bath and air bath also help you. Tender means early morning and late afternoon. That is very, very good. Diet, we have here, according to Bernard Johnson, renowned natural healer, nutritionist, expert in iridology. I am also doing iridology, which you can diagnose by your iris. Many diseases you can diagnose without any lab. That is very, very good. Mr. Bernard, he prescribed 1 day ideal diet would consist of 1 pulse, 1 starch, roti, rice, poha, upma, bread, idli, 3 variety of fruits, like 3 type of fruit, but it's supposed to be local and cheaper and seasonal fruits and fruits you have to take. Not like you are living, like we are living in Nairobi, there is no apple, there is no what you call this, grapes. They're coming from South Africa. Better you take local one like papaya, banana, or avocado. They are better, very good fruits. He also mentioned 6 types of vegetable in form of sabji and salad. In the salad, you can eat like whatever easy to eat, you have to take. And in the vegetable, boiled vegetable, supposed to be also seasonal. So he also mentioned 1 variety of nuts, oil seeds like almonds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, coconut. There is different in between acidic fruit, which is going to give you acid in your body, like cereal, roti, rice, kurmura, dosa, bhakri. These are Indian names. Pulses, dals, chana, chole, rajma, etc. Tea, coffee, white sugar, nuts, like oily nuts. Where you are living, there is no heat, then oily nuts is not good for you, or you take in a small portion. Eggs, fish, and meat. They are improving acid in your body. Alkaline fruits, vegetables, I told you, seasonal fruits and seasonal vegetable, salads. Why I said you take cheaper fruits, your vegetable. Cheaper fruit because they are seasonal and they are plenty of at that time growing. So they are going to be cheaper. Salads and juices and coconut water. When you have a coconut water, that is also very, very good. We are in naturopathy, they said that coconut itself, they have a 10 type of enzymes, which you will never get in any, what do you call this, multivitamin or like that. They never make it. Yeah. So coconut water is the best for calcium and phosphorus and many problems. Since of modern civilization, now you see, in nature cure they said 3 things is bad, very bad, like white sugar, white flour, and salt. But I heard someone said 3 years is bad for naturopathy, sugar and salt and sex. So that if you balance is going to be very good. So white sugar, white salt, yeah. If you want, you can go for rock salt or pink salt is good. Tea and coffee is very bad. Yeah. White flour, maida is also not good. Processed and packaged multigrain, wheat flour, synthetic gluten, pasta, cornflakes, fast food, of course, is not good. Instant food and synthetic juices. If you can avoid, it's good. If you take fresh fruit, juices, less amount going to help you. Healthy substance in the naturopathy, we prescribe them to take herbal tea, organic jaggery or like unprocessed honey, red rice or brown rice, unpolished brown, locally grown causes, ragi or like their Indian some grains called bajra, millet, you can call jowar. That's very, very good. Coconut water, all of it.
Dr. Pathak, just to remind you that I think you might have just 1 or 2 minutes to wrap up.
Okay. Oh yeah, my
all right.
this
All right.
is finishing.
Mm-hmm.
There is body type of diet that I told you in the starting. And this is Bata Pitta is going to be for lady, what you call this, Miss Mona. And for me, I think, yeah, it is finishing. So in the naturopathy, we always prescribe people some therapy which is very, 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 very cheaper. When you go for the medical science or anything or medicine or like that, they are going to side effect and many things. But when you change your diet, lifestyle, and some herbs which is going to coming from your kitchen. Naturopathy believes 70% disease coming from the kitchen, and there's many, many antibiotics in our kitchen. If you have some acute disease, when you use some our kitchen's antibiotics, like if you have a cough and a cold, take tulsi, basil, turmeric powder, cinnamon, honey. These are the antibiotics which you are going to use. And also, we suggest everybody, if you have a good place in your house, you make your kitchen garden. In that one, if you can grow some basil, turmeric, and aloe vera, and other herbal, many herbs you can, like lemongrass, it is going to help you. So if we are advising anybody, you can cure even cold to cancer with your food, with your exercise, and with your mind, stress balance. With this one, I think enough. If anything else you can ask me, there's no problem. We have, question answer.
Yes.
No problem. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak.
Yeah. Any question if you want?
Right. Can you clear the screen, sir? So our next presenter is from Kenya also. She is Dr. Mona Kikani. So Dr. Mona Kikani is from Kenya in Africa. She operates an Ayurvedic Awareness Center in Nakuru, and she treats patients with cancer, arthritis, gas acidity, and hormonal imbalances, as well as skin, weight, and hair problems. I'd like to welcome Ms. Dr. Mona Kikani. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to Dr. Pathak. That was a wonderful, very comprehensive presentation. Really nice. Thank you very much. So please,
Thank you very much.
yes, you're welcome. Welcome, Dr. Mona. And again, you have 15 minutes to speak. Yes, and I think you're muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself. You're still muted, eh? You're actually still muted. Dr. Mona, you're still muted, eh? Just so you know. Hey, Dr. Kumar.
Ravin, can you help her unmute? I think she has someone helping her on the side, so she's hearing us. And she's using a cell phone, I think, so which makes it a little more challenging.
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. Hi, friends.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Mona from Nakuru. Today's my topic is diet and Ayurveda. Now, can I start my PowerPoint also?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Today's my topic is diet and Ayurveda. Now, friends, I'm going to explain what is diet. It is special course of food that a person restricts themselves to for various reasons, which could include weight gain, weight loss, medical reasons, prevent or treat illnesses, etc. Friends, for the weight loss and gain, if we are making proper diet chart with suitable timing, so definitely you can get the result. Now, medical reasons, like if you have diabetes and you have to stop sugar, potato, and rice. So prevent and treat illnesses, etc. So inside, prevent or treat, maybe if we are doing something, if we not get high blood pressure, so we not taking that stress and etc. A diet is said to be balanced when it includes all the required nutrients that the body need to stay healthy. Although humans are omnivore, personal preferences, culture, and other factors may affect the intake of a perfect balanced diet. Now, what is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is a natural system of medicine that originated in India thousands of years ago. The term Ayurveda is derived from the Sanskrit words. Ayur means life and Veda means science or knowledge. According to Ayurveda, the universe is made up of 5 elements. Vayu means air, Jala means water, Teja means fire, Akash means sky and space. These elements are said to form 3 different dosas, defined as the type of energy that circulate in your body. Each dosa is responsible for different psychological functions. Ayurveda is based on finding your dosa and eating food to maintain harmony between the 3. Diet. When related to Ayurveda, sites contain guidelines on when, how, and what you should eat based on your dosha or body type. Here are a few of the main characteristics of the dosas to identify the one that best fits you. Vata means air plus space, creative, energetic, and live. Pitta means fire and water, intelligent, hardworking, and decisive. Kapha, earth plus water, naturally calm, grounded, and loyal. Friend, people with Vata dosa are usually thin with a light frame and may struggle with digestion issue, fatigue, or anxiety when out of balance. And people with Pitta dosa usually have medium physical build and have short temper. Kapha, for the kapha means earth plus water, they are like those with kapha dosa often have a sturdier build and may be suffering for weight gain, asthma, depression, or diabetes. According to this diet, your dosa determines what foods you should eat to promote inner balance. Friends, we know we passed by the Corona time. That time, everybody taking that spices, boil the spices and intake. We know. So Vata dosa favors warm, moist, grounding foods, while restrict dry fruits, bitter herbs, and raw veggies. Pitta dosa, cooling and energizing foods, and limits spice, nuts, and seeds. Kapha dosa limits heavy foods like nuts, seeds, and oil, but favors fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Friends, red meat, artificial sweeteners, and processed ingredients are limited to all 3 dosa. Instead, the diet in Ayurveda encourages healthy, whole food, which can improve their overall health and boost weight loss. This diet also encourages mindful eating, a practice that promotes a healthy relationship with food. Now, which type of food we have to eat? So if you are if people has a vata dosa, so protein things inside small amount of poultry, seafood and tofu, dairy inside milk, butter, yogurt, fruits inside fully ripe, sweet and heavy fruits such as bananas, blueberries, grapefruits, vegetables, cooked vegetables, including beets, sweet potatoes, onions, etc. Legumes, chickpeas, lentils, mung beans. Grains inside, you have to eat cooked oats, cooked rice. Nuts and seeds, any, including almonds, walnuts, pistachio, chia seed, etc. Herbs and spices, cardamom, ginger, cumin, cloves, oregano. Now, who has a pitta dosa? Says to protein inside, egg whites, tofu, etc. Dairy inside milk, ghee, butter. Fruits, sweet, fully ripe fruits like oranges, pears, pineapples, bananas, melons, and mangoes. Vegetables, sweet and bitter veggies, including cabbage, cauliflower, etc. Legumes, chickpeas, lentils, mung beans, black beans. Now grains, barley, oats, basmati rice, and wheat. Nuts and seeds, small amounts of pumpkin seeds, flaxseed, sunflower seeds. Herbs and spices, small amounts of black pepper, cumin, cinnamon, turmeric. Now, kapha dosa. So protein is poultry in small amounts, seafood, egg whites, dairy, skim milk, goat milk, soya milk. Fruits like apples, blueberries, pears, etc. Vegetables, leafy greens, onions, potatoes, okra, and legumes, any, including black beans, chickpeas, lentils, and navy beans. Grains like oats, buckwheat, barley, corn, and millet. Nuts and seeds. Small amount of pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds. Herbs and spices, any, including cumin, black pepper, turmeric, ginger. Foods to avoid. Now, if you have vata dosa, you have to avoid protein, fruits, vegetables, legumes, grain, herbs and spices inside protein, red meat, fruits, dried, unripe, or light fruits, vegetables, any raw vegetables, as well as cooked broccoli, cabbage, legumes, beans such as black beans, kidney beans, grains, barley, wheat, corn, millet, herbs and spices, bitter or astringent herbs like parsley, thyme, and coriander seed. Now, if you have pitta dosa, you should have to avoid proteins inside red meat, seafood, and egg yolk, dairy inside sour cream, cheese, buttermilk, fruits, sour or unripe fruits such as grapes, apricots, vegetables, chili peppers, beets, tomatoes, onions, grains, brown rice, millet, corn, nuts and seeds, almonds, peanuts, pine nuts, sesame seed, herbs and spices, any spices, not including in the list, what I say. Now kapha. Proteins inside red meat, shrimp, egg yolks. Fruits, bananas, coconuts, mangoes, fresh fish. Vegetables inside sweet potatoes, tomatoes, cucumbers. Legumes, soya beans, kidney beans. Grains, rice, wheat, cooked cereal. Nuts and seeds. Pine nuts, Brazil nuts, sesame seeds, walnut.
Perfect.
Friends, Ayurveda is not a therapy. Ayurveda is life where nature, lifestyle, medicine, supplements, food type, and timings are all present. Following the diet plans according to Ayurveda not only helps your illness, but also improve your lifestyle as a whole. Finally, the diet plan emphasizes eating whole foods which can improve your overall health and boost weight loss. The diet also encourages mindful eating, a practice that may promote healthy relationship with food. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kikani.
Yeah.
Thank you for another wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So our next presenter is also from Africa. He is from South Africa. Our next presenter is Dr. Rajin Kupan. Dr. Rajin operates an integrative medicine clinic in Durban, where he combines allopathic, Ayurvedic, nutritional, herbal medicine, and detoxification. So I'd like to welcome you, Dr. Kupan. So you have 15 minutes to make your presentation. Welcome, and thank you for presenting. Yes.
Thank you so much, and greetings to everybody. Must apologize about our lighting. We're in the midst of load shedding. So I just want to check if that is visible.
Yes, we're seeing everything.
All right. Right. So greetings to everybody, wherever you may be, and thank you for inviting me to share some of this knowledge. We're going to be talking about the 7 skills of wellness. Now, whenever we view our own health, very often the conversation is around our illnesses, be it an imbalance or a defined disease. And so a lot of the world focuses on systems that manage and treat and hopefully cure whatever the imbalance or the disease is. But given the invested interest of many different groups around the world, including pharmaceuticals, health systems, etc., much of this is skewed towards the disease management, and really not much in our education, be it from a primary school level right through to university, not much focuses on how do you stay well. So we're going to be talking about that in a fair amount of detail today. Now, in a clinical practice, there are many issues that challenge GPs. And the first is that a high percentage of the symptoms and signs displayed by our patients are not actually diagnosable by doctors. We can't really tell you what is happening and why you're sick, etc., unless it is very, very obvious. And much of the training that we have received in medical schools, rarely do we get taught how to deal with the cause of an illness. And there are so many conditions out there where we don't really know what is causing it, but we will put you onto certain treatments like cortisone, etc., immunosuppressives, etc. And this is especially so of chronic diseases, which is why in the world we see so many people managing their health with multiple drugs. Some of them are on 4, 5, 6, 7 drugs at a time, none of which is going to give you wellness. And lastly, doctors have not been trained at an undergraduate level to help patients regain their health and wellness. So we're living in a world that has enormous progress in medical science, but at the same time, it is a time when we are seeing the most disease, not reversing. So we're going to look at this now and get some perspective around it. And this perspective, in fact, is drawn from the Ayurvedic science, and it defines the 6 stages of the disease process. So stage 1 going across right up to the point where we die. And before that would be the principles of wellness. How do we enjoy and cultivate wellness within us? So these stages, the stage of accumulation, aggravation, migration, localization, manifestation, complications, they in fact describe the journey of a toxic buildup starting in the gut. In Ayurveda, it's called ama, but essentially it means semi-digested material that behaves like a toxin. In modern medicine, in allopathic medicine, as allopathic doctors, we are trained in medical schools to diagnose here. You must first have the disease before we can tell you what it is. But no disease just suddenly appears one day. It is always in an evolution. And so the disease will begin with signs and symptoms of accumulation of these toxins, then signs and symptoms of aggravation of these symptoms and signs. It may then recover to some extent, but because the fundamental reasons for why the imbalance is happening has not been addressed, it will then reappear, and this toxin now begins to migrate from the gut into the deeper tissue. It will then localize in some weak area of the different organ systems, and we then have the manifestation of the disease. Now we can label you. We can say you're diabetic, you've got asthma, you've got morbid obesity, you have an autoimmune disease, etc. And then, of course, because this can't be reversed with the kind of things that we do in medicine, the disease begins to progress, and we then deal with the complications where you need to be hospitalized, try and recover that to some extent. But playing between these 2 areas, 5 and 6, you will be on multiple drugs for the rest of your life until you die. So this is the spectrum going from wellness across the disease spectrum. And the systems of medicine that we have, the allopathic system in particular, can only manage you here. It really can't deal with anything from there. And this is where maybe 90% of people who go to a GP or their doctor, they can't diagnose this because they've never been trained to actually identify these symptoms. Yet you, as the patient, absolutely will know something is wrong because these symptoms are reappearing. They're not going away. No medicine you take actually improves it and cures it. And so ultimately you'll arrive at the stage of manifestation where we do blood tests and scans and all sorts of imaging. And now we can tell you, yes, you have diabetes, you have asthma, you have autoimmune disease, etc. And some may come a bit too late, and we're seeing them in this stage of complications. So we're going to talk about this spectrum and try to understand, why does this actually happen? So our body is made up of trillions of cells which are organized into organ systems. And when our cells are healthy, and in a very simplified way, it's a very complex narrative or story, a healthy cell has many, many things happening. But primarily, it is the cell membrane that is the critical player in this whole state of wellness. When the cell membranes are healthy, there is an active transportation of critical nutrients, hormones, etc., into the cell, and a successful, efficient elimination of the waste material, the metabolic waste, out of the cell. So nutrients get in, the waste gets out, and that's a healthy cell. And there turns out to be, and this research goes back 63 odd years, that there is a nutrient called an essential fatty acid that is critical for the healthy functioning of your cell membranes. Unfortunately, the essential fatty acid, which is largely found in seeds, in grains, has been taken out by food processing. So you never get it in any kind of food unless you're eating whole food. So this is an oil. And there is a product that is available in the world. It's the only product, by the way, called Treanin, that delivers this essential fatty acid. And immediately the effect is that your nutrient delivery to the cell increases by 42%. 42%. This almost instantaneously translates into increased energy, better cellular function, overall recovery of the struggling cell. And so the opposite is also true. When you have an unhealthy cell, largely it is the cell membrane that is not functioning efficiently, largely because of this nutrient deficiency. Nutrients can't get into the cell, and waste, metabolic waste, can't get out of the cell. So this cell is slowly degrading, and you have all the different stages of the disease process: imbalance first, and ultimately resulting in a full-blown disease, manifesting complications, and then death. So cellular health is the basis, and this involves many, many different components, such as digestive enzymes, metabolic enzymes, hormones, and also the story of metabolic toxins. So let's just take this concept further, and in Ayurveda, we will come across the concept of the digestive fire, the Agni, Chatar Agni. And this essentially are the pancreatic enzymes, but the Agni, the digestive fire, also relates to hormones, such as your thyroid hormone, insulin, glucagon. There's many, many different types of hormones operating in your body that enable you to achieve and experience health. It's like a fire into which you put the fuel, which is wood, and the flame is in fact the strength of your digestion. So digestive enzymes, all your three types of digestive enzymes: the enzymes digesting fat, the enzymes digesting carbohydrate, the enzymes digesting protein. They have to be strong enough for you to properly digest and extract the nutrients from the food that you're eating. And so the starting point of any disease is a weakening of the digestive fire. And largely that happens in your lower third of your stomach and the duodenum, and for different reasons. And so one of the big reasons in modern day living that quenches the digestive fire are things like drinking iced water in large quantities as a habit, or drinking water during a meal, which dilutes the enzymes, weakens the enzymes. And so this weakening, dilution and weakening of the digestive enzymes is the start of the disease process. This is where it will all begin. Eating heavy foods can also do this. Eating leftover foods doesn't digest very well. Eating foods that are extremely heavy to digest, sort of things that are cooked in oil, fried foods, and of course, all the leftover foods, anything that comes to you in a tin, in a packet, in a bottle, so processed foods, they don't digest very well. And so you're setting up the stage for this digestive toxin, semi-digested material in the gut, and eventually finding its way across the gut barrier into your bloodstream. And we can see this first as a coating on the tongue. So if you look at your tongue in the mirror, especially early in the morning, and you see this coating, immediately we can predict that you have not digested the meal from previous day. If it's there continuously and consistently, then this is the digestive enzyme weakness. And one of the things that has to happen is that you have to detoxify. Now, when we look at how we can then correct this process of ill health, it turns out that there are 7 strategies that have to be addressed if you want to stay healthy. The first is, of course, the diet and the nutrition. So there's a whole science about what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, based on your body type, your genetics. That is the Ayurvedic body type. And if it is out of balance, now you're dealing with an imbalanced process called Vikruti. And that is what has to be treated. So a large part of modern day living is really very distorted because of the bad food that we are accessing. How to get that right is a kind of a little training. And in part of our wellness consultations, we teach people what to eat, what not to eat, how it should be prepared, what to avoid, etc. And this, of course, can apply to a disease process, for example, like diabetes, like excessive weight gain, conditions like recurrent influenza and mucus in the chest. And if there's one thing that the COVID epidemic has done for us medically, is that it has shown us how bad the state of health is of people across the world. Because it is the people that have chronic bad health that were falling prey to the horrific effects of the COVID virus. So knowing what to eat, etc., not difficult to do. We can correct that at a personal level and show you how to get that corrected. Now, when the toxin forms, now the metabolism becomes unbalanced. And this toxin finds its way across the 7 layers of tissue within the body, and it begins to interfere with the metabolism. And so you can get tiredness, weight gain, excessive blood sugar developing, evolving into diabetes, and so on. So many, many diseases, this accumulating toxin is sitting at the basis for that. And so detoxification then becomes the primary tool to help reset this metabolism. If we only give drugs, such as anti-diabetic drugs, insulin, etc., you're not reversing the disease. You're just holding it in check, but the disease is still there. The third element is peace of mind. We now know that the mind and the body are not 2 separate things. Let's talk of emotional and mental hygiene. If you're very toxic in your emotions and in your mental state, this will eventually create disease processes by unbalancing. And spoken of in another way, this toxic level of emotions such as anger, irritability, hate, grief, depression, despondency, all of those are emotional armor, emotional toxins and mental toxins. The 4th element of wellness is sleep nutrition. If you're not getting adequate sleep, at least a minimum of 8 hours, then you go into sleep deprivation, which has its own cascade of negative effects on the body. And so we have a training on how to correct the sleep nutrition. And one of the major elements of sleep is a type of sleep called slow wave sleep, which is stage 3, stage 4 of a 5-stage set of sleep cycles. So how to correct that and how to induce it by different methodologies. Then exercise is, of course, the other big strategy for maintaining wellness. And this exercise has to be designed around your body type. So body type doshas, excuse me, are in fact reflecting your genetics. So not everyone can do the same type of exercise. And so we design the exercise around what that person would accommodate more comfortably. 6 is immune competence or immune resilience. Now, in the era of COVID-19, we now know how badly our immune systems are run down by. And so the idea of how do we create immune resilience in the body And that is largely a nutritional story. It also has to do with the state of your mind. It also has to do with the state of your rest and your sleep. All of them dovetail into immune resilience. And so there are very profound plant-based nutrients that can bump up your immune system in a most remarkable way. And so we select those for our patients depending on what they need. And lastly, the concept of joy. Joy is an innate quality within humans. We don't become joyful because of. This is the state of our divine consciousness. And there are many processes that lead to the presence of this joy. Meditation, for example, laughter, and many of them have been already mentioned. But how do you train a person into living joyfully? All right, so just quickly a summary of what we've been speaking about. So here's the wellness percentages going from 0 to 100. So at birth, you would probably be 100% well, ideally. There's your age in decades going across in 10-year intervals. And so on this bottom part here, we see perfect health, and then there's the 6 stages of disease going down there. So if we follow this orange curve, this is an ideal curve where you're born healthy, you're living healthily, you know the 7 skills of how to stay healthy, and you'll only begin to see some fading away when you're around 80, and it gets slightly worse, and then eventually by about 100, you would probably expire at that point. And that's the ideal state. Very few people are able to live that. Then we have this blue curve, a little worse. This is now, the decay starts at around 60 odd and rapidly progresses, and death often happens at about 80 to 85. This red curve is probably the norm in the world, where the decay in health begins to occur quite early on in the 40s. And because we're not addressing the principal causes, it will rapidly lead to manifestation, complications, death. This black curve is now defining the horrific state of health in a time in the world when we have the most abundant medical understanding. Something is drastically wrong about the fact that we don't know how to look after our wealth, our health, which is the real wealth. Okay. Right, another way, these would, the same curve, just identifying optimal health and vitality in this first band, then the declining health, then worsening health, and then progressive disability. Unfortunately, more and more younger people are following this black line and the red line. And so we see that vast numbers of people across the planet are in fact in a very diseased state. They have no idea what wellness feels like. What does it feel to be robustly healthy, etc. So I'm going to stop there. I think we're at our 15 minutes. And just to say that this was an overview of what the 7 skills of wellness are about. We do run seminars on this. We maybe at some stage can share when we're doing our next series of 7 modules, and where we can teach you these principles in detail. These are contact details for me, and if you would like to know more about it, we do Zoom consults, etc., for people in different parts of the world. But I would love to share the principles of wellness with people across the world in a Zoom seminar. So thank you, everybody, for listening. I appreciate you affording me this time, Dr. Mahabir. So thank you again.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Rajan. That was a wonderful, another very fabulous presentation. Really enjoyed it. We turn to our next presenter today, who is from Suriname. Our next presenter is Dr. Lucia John, who is from Suriname. Dr. Lucia John is a graduate of Maharishi European Research University in Holland. She's a certified teacher of transcendental meditation. She teaches yoga, she teaches pranayam, and she has been doing this for the last 41 years. I'd like to welcome Dr. Lucia. Dr. Lucia, you have 15 minutes to make your presentation. Looking forward.
Thank you very much, Sis. And greetings, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. And full screen. Okay, greetings, everyone. And thank you for inviting me to this Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center activity. It is really, really needed in our time. So today I will deal with Ayurveda, a solution to ADHD and PTSD. So we're going to take a peep into the Latin American and Caribbean experience. Now, Ayurveda is defined as swasthya, which means established in one's own self. Being established in one's own self means first finding the self. So swasthya is perfect health. Now, health is not only the absence of disease. Health is, as I said, swasthya, perfect health, where every aspect of our physiology, psychology is functioning in perfect harmony with self. Now, what is self? Is it the self that we know in the activity of everyday life? No, we are dual, inner and outer. We have a body, outer, but there's something inside. There's that deep silence within, pure consciousness. So the self of all individuals is deep within us, beyond the activity, beyond the active regions of our mind. To experience the self, we must transcend or go beyond the active levels of our own mind and experience the silence within. The self is pure consciousness, the source of thought. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, a highly respected Indian sage and founder of the transcendental meditation technique and the many Ayurvedic technologies that he cognized or revived, he's a foremost scientist in the field of consciousness, and he reviewed Ayurveda and cognized that in order for Ayurveda to be complete, consciousness had to be given its rightful place. So the importance, to serve the importance, of swasthya or perfect health and reverse the aging process. Now, transcendental meditation, as taught by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, is a simple, effortless mental technique that allows anyone to experience deeper and quieter levels of his or her own mind, transcend or go beyond the deepest level of the mind and experience the source of thought, the pure silence within, using the very natural tendency of the mind to settle down and experience its own unbounded nature, to awaken the inner intelligence of the body and the mind. So that is why transcendental meditation is effortless. It does not include concentration or contemplation. So transcendental consciousness is the unbounded ocean of consciousness, which gives access to one's unboundedness, energy, creativity, and intelligence. It is the source of all that we know of the little self to which we give a name. Dr. Tony Nader, who is the present leader of the Transcendental Meditation Organization, who studied extensively with Maharishi, later reorganized the entire knowledge entrusted to him by Maharishi, and he wrote a book, Human Physiology, Expression of Veda and Vedic Literature. He also wrote Ramayana in Human Physiology. And just recently, he wrote One Unbounded Ocean of Consciousness, A New Paradigm. In One Unbounded Ocean of Consciousness, he explains that consciousness is all that there is. And when that silent ocean of consciousness becomes aware of itself, it becomes three. The knower, that's the ocean of consciousness. The known, that it's self with its innumerable qualities. And the process of knowing, it's that dynamic process between the two. So it has a 3-in-1 nature. So Ayurveda is the knowledge of life itself, how to live life in balance according to one's own body type, how to promote and enhance the lifespan. In fact, Ayurveda is the knowledge how to attain immortality. In the late 1970s, when Maharishi realized that the element of consciousness was missing from the practice of Ayurveda, Maharishi returned that knowledge of consciousness to Ayurveda and called the new knowledge Maharishi Ayurveda. Now, with this new technology, one can then balance the mind-body connection. One can balance the consciousness-mind connection and return that mind-body coordination for good health, for perfect health. So any imbalance or disturbance on that level can now be easily handled. Here we can see the mind, let's say, as an ocean. If we compare the mind to an ocean, the ocean has waves on the surface. So it's all activity. And in the depth, it's totally peaceful, totally tranquil. It's pure silence. Now, if we're coming from the surface level of the mind and we are going down, so the mind is settling down to finer and finer, quieter levels of thoughts until we transcend that finest level and experience the source of thought. So it is an effortless technique. Now, in Ayurveda, as we heard before, I will not go through it. We have Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. But the problem, the main problem in ADHD and PTSD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, the main problem is Vata, imbalance, vitiation even of Vata. But as we see here, Kapha is earth and water, Pitta is water and fire, but Vata is air and ether. Now, we speak a lot about air. Do we speak about ether? Do we refer to ether? Not really. But the problem with ADHD and PTSD and a lot of other problems like anxiety and panic attacks and all that, that is filling the world now is lodged right there in Vata. Now, in ADHD and PTSD, Vata is really off balance. And the very name spells out the disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Attention deficit, what does that tell us? The attention is not stable. If the attention is not stable, that on which the attention depends, something is wrong there. And that is why we have to look at Vata, look at ether, the inner parts of Vata, look at ether. Post-traumatic stress disorder, same problem. Same problem, not the same problem, but in the same category of problem. And we handle both in a similar way. Now, scientific research, lots of scientific research has been done on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and brain functioning. And a lot of it has been done by Dr. Fred Travis. Now, this is a video, and we will not go to it because we do not have so much time, but attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, is characterized by inattentiveness, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. And it is diagnosed in 8%, at least 8% of children aged 4 to 17 years old. And factors associated with increased risk of ADHD include unhealthy maternal lifestyle, that's drinking and smoking, premature birth and low birth weight, and poor early childhood care. Some researchers also theorize that there is a genetic factor associated with ADHD. Now, drugs are used to treat ADHD. And here we have another short video of Dr. Fred Travis, but we won't go into it because of the time factor, but it would be nice if you can take a look at the video because it explains a lot. Most drug treatments of ADHD contains methylphenidate or amphetamines that increase dopamine and noradrenaline in the synapse by either increasing the release of neurotransmitters or blocking their reuptake. However, up to 30% of ADHD children either do not respond to or do not tolerate treatment with stimulants. And we know that one of the statin drugs that is used to treat ADHD today is called Ritalin. And one of the side effects of Ritalin is sudden death. And we see so many children just falling on the playing field, falling dead. Now, that aspect of Ayurveda that we use, or let's say one of the aspects of Ayurveda that we use to treat ADHD and PTSD is the transcendental meditation technique. And we call it quiet time. It is used extensively all over the world to counteract the devastating effects of ADHD on the youth today. So in the early 80s, there was 2008, there was one of the scientific research studies done on ADHD in a school in Washington, D.C. And this study went around and around the world many times because at last there was something to calm down ADHD and PTSD. So here you have links to research again and videos. There's a link to quiet time in a school in Jamaica, in the Trinity School in Jamaica. Here we have Dr. Gabriel Meya from Colombia, who saved the street children of Colombia. We remember when Colombia had a very, very bad drug problem. Well, what happened to the children of such parents? They were just on the street, thousands of them. And this priest, he built hundreds of orphanages to rehabilitate these children. And the main technology he used, or he uses because he's still doing it, is transcendental meditation and other technologies of Ayurveda, including panchakarma, aromatherapy, Vedic sound therapy, etc. Very, very successful. And the children who were on the streets in Colombia are now successful adults. Here we have transcendental meditation in schools in Mexico, entire schools, entire chains of universities practicing transcendental meditation. And one thing, when they start to meditate, grades go up and they excel. That is, one of the benefits of this. So transcendental meditation in schools in Peru. And here just how quiet time changes life. So we're hearing from a 7th grader, Cecilia, and she says, since I started TM, life has gotten a lot easier. I think more clearly and I don't rush into things. Plus, my grades have gone up. So, for follow-up, my colleagues and I will be at your entire disposal for any further information concerning Maharishi Ayurveda and the other 17 technologies and transcendental meditation and the use of quiet time in schools or in any walk of life. Thank you for your attention. You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lucia, for a great presentation. I met you 30 years ago when I became a teacher of TM, and you look just as fabulous and just as youthful. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
All right. So our next speaker today is also from Suriname, and he's a lecturer of Transcendental Meditation also. His name is Ian Time. Ian, Dr. Ian.
Yes.
He is a lecturer in Transcendental Meditation, Maharishi Ayurveda, and he is on the natural laws and practical tips to improve health, healing, and happiness. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And you have 15 minutes to make a presentation. Good to have you on.
Thank you, Sais. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to talk, and thank you everyone for attending. I'm going to talk about Maharishi Ayurveda, the natural laws of health, healing, and happiness. Dr. Lucia did an excellent presentation there. She covered most of it. It's wonderful. She just made my life a little easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about what brought us together here. Why are we together here is to seek answers in traditional holistic healing methods. And Maharishi had explained, we suffer only when we knowingly or unknowingly violate laws of nature. So what we need to do is we need to go back to nature and live more in tune with the laws of nature. And 1 second. So Ayurveda has been defined before, but I just want to put my 2 cents here. Ved means knowledge. It means laws of nature. Okay. Ayurveda is the ancient Vedic science, the knowledge and natural laws for a long, healthy, and happy life. Ayurveda Amritanam. Ayurveda is for immortality. So if you're not happy, joyful, and fulfilled, you are not completely healthy. And the only reason why we're sick, suffering, or in trouble is because we unconsciously or consciously violate certain natural laws. So Ayurveda brings us back to our true nature, to live in tune with all the laws of nature. So what Maharishi did in the 1980s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, he gathered all the experts in Ayurveda. They're called Vaidya's, Ayurvedic doctors. And he gathered them with the purpose of purifying, because due to foreign dominance in India, and so the knowledge of Ayurveda became fragmented and lost. And it was only partial here, partial there. So he took the leaders of the Ayurvedic movement there, and the 3 foremost leaders is Dr. Triguna, Dr. Dwivedi, and Dr. Balaraj Maharishi. And each of these leaders had more than 100,000 Vaidya's under him. So what did he do? He systematized and restored Ayurveda in its purity and completeness in accordance with the classical Ayurvedic text and called it Maharishi Ayurveda. And in the early 80s, he made the term Ayurveda worldwide renowned through his thousands of TM centers he Maharshi made Ayurveda well known. So this is what the modern science has discovered, and this is related to the laws of nature. What modern physics has discovered is that everything is made up of atoms. Atoms are the core unit of everything in the universe. But what's interesting here is that the atoms are 99.99% empty space. They're nothing other than energy particles. That's what the modern physics has discovered, that there are only 4 fundamental forces, energy forces, that are at the basis of the entire creation. One is gravity, one is electromagnetism, that's responsible for light from the sun. The other one is the weak and strong interaction. So what they did in the last 30 to 40 years, they came out with what they call unified field theories. And they discovered that there's only one source, one force. It's called the unified field of all the laws of nature. That is at the basis of these 4 fundamental forces. That is at the basis of the entire creation. Now, what does this have to do with transcendental meditation? Maharshi explains that in Vedic science, exactly this happens. We go to final levels of thought, as Dr. Lucia explained, until we transcend the finest level of thought and we come to the source of thought within ourselves. We experience this as deep, deep relaxation. And the physiologist calls it restful alertness. We're deep in rest. It's different than waking, sleeping, and dreaming. It's a 4th state of consciousness. And this 4th state of consciousness is the unified field, what the physicists call the unified field. And we spontaneously enliven that, all right? And this is the source of health and healing. It's the home of all the laws of nature. And that's why the TM technique is the basis of all Maharshi Ayurvedic knowledge and techniques, because it spontaneously enlivens the source of all natural laws within ourselves to make us healthier and happier. Now, the other unique part of transcendental meditation is that it has been scientifically verified. And science, real objective science, has 3 unique qualities. It is objective. That means you don't have to believe in it. It will work. It is verifiable. If someone discovers that someone has lowest blood pressure in Holland due to TM, it should be verifiable in your country as well. And it's repeatable, verifiable, and objective. Those are the 3 strong qualities of scientific research. So good quality scientific research sometimes takes weeks, months, and sometimes even years to complete and costs a lot of money to do. But Maharshi wanted the TM technique to have scientific research because it's evidence-based research. That is what's accepted. It's a language of time. All right, so in the last 50 years, more than 700 scientific research has been done by many independent institutions like Stanford, Yale, UCLA, published in more than 150 scientific journals and 350 publications, and is widely accepted in the scientific community. Here are a few of the slides of scientific research that has been done. This is what they call EEG coherence. In other words, orderliness. Orderliness or EEG coherence increases after 2 weeks of meditation, more after 4 months, and after 2 years, it's more orderliness. What is the benefit of that? EEG coherence has benefits in increased intelligence, increased grade point average, increased emotional stability, decreased anxiety, decreased neuroticism, and much more, but I won't cover all of that. Now, here's another example of an interesting study. This is what they call a meta-analysis of 146 research studies. Which technique was the most effective in reducing anxiety? Now, you see clearly that all meditation techniques do have a value. They do have a benefit. Mantra meditation, biofeedback, PM, all other meditation techniques, all of them work just as well as the placebo effect. But the TM technique was 2.5 times more effective in reducing anxiety. So, you can choose any meditation technique. There are hundreds of meditation techniques out there. It's just that the TM technique is a little faster in reducing anxiety. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States and probably in other countries as well. And TM reduces heart disease. It's so that the government institution, it's called the National Institute of Health, has granted more than $26 million in the past 18 years to study the effects of transcendental meditation on heart disease. And after those 18 years, the American Heart Association and the Medical Association, who are not friends of alternative medicines, by the way, they like evidence-based research. They came to the conclusion that all other meditation techniques other than the TM technique, including mindfulness, received a no benefit level of evidence and are not recommended at this time. So sometimes they had effects and sometimes they didn't. But TM was very consistent in reducing high blood pressure. And that's why the American Heart Association came with a proclamation that you can lower blood pressure through transcendental meditation. And they recommended to all their doctors in the AHH and the American Association. So this is an overview of all the 18 Maharishi Ayurveda techniques that Maharishi offers. But we begin with meditation first, because meditation contacts the source of health within yourself, the source that is perfectly healthy. And this is because it's the principle of the highest first. What is the highest in life? The source of life within ourselves, experience as pure consciousness. You experience that during transcendental meditation. You experience that as a deep relaxation, a fourth state of awareness. And that is the highest of life. A wise gardener does not waste time in watering the leaves or the fruits or anything else. He goes and waters the root. You go to the root of life within yourself. And when you experience the source of life within, you experience that all aspects of your life blossoms. The purpose of Ayurveda is to develop perfect health, wholeness, happiness, peace, and bliss. The ultimate source of perfect health, wholeness, happiness, peace, and bliss is directly experienced daily through TM within yourself as pure consciousness, the unified field of natural law, the source of all creation. That is why Maharishi explains that TM is the most important technique of Ayurveda. And all other techniques, which are also good, such as yoga asanas, pranayama that Maharishi Ayurveda recommends, diet, nutrition, massage, panchakarma, lifestyle, vastu, Vedic astrology, are all secondary to the experience of the silent state of bliss consciousness within, known as Sat Chit Ananda, your true nature. So you don't need to believe in magic. You are magic. You need to believe in yourself, all right? We have tremendous power over our own happiness, health, well-being, destiny, and longevity. I've seen the vast majority of premature deaths and sicknesses are preventable with a simple, healthy Maharishi Ayurvedic routine, diet, and lifestyle. Many people suffer and become unnecessarily ill. We see all kinds of people who are often sick, have high blood pressure, stomach. All of these are preventable and unnecessary, and can be easily remedied with some very simple Maharishi Ayurvedic knowledge of natural laws governing health. So near the end, this is the end. So I just want to offer 10 practical tips, laws of nature that you may already know for health, to improve your health, healing, and happiness. Number one, go to bed early before 10 o'clock and get up early before the sun rises. And Charka recommends, if possible, take an early morning walk in the rising sun. Number two, practice TM twice daily. Number three, have the main meal at lunchtime when the digestive fires, as Dr. Kupan so eloquently spoke about, are at its peak. Eat light in the morning and light in the evening, ideally before the sun sets. Number four, eat only fresh, organic, pesticide-free foods, no leftovers, because it doesn't have any energy in it left. Eat with full attention on the food. That means no TV, no phone, just full attention on the food. Taste the food, because in the taste, it's ojas. Eat, and this is an interesting one, eat to maximum 75% of your capacity. A quarter needs to be air for better digestion. It's just like when you put your clothes in a washing machine, you leave some air so that the clothes wash better. And just like Dr. Kupan said, avoid ice cold drinks and foods that and ice cold foods that kill the digestive fires, because without that, The food doesn't digest well, it turns into ama. Undigested food is a cause of all of disease. Here's an important one that people don't consider. It's a law of nature also found in the Bible and found all over. As you sow, so shall you reap. It's a law of karma. So everything is your own creation, good or bad. You alone are responsible for your happiness. Take full responsibility and stop blaming anyone. When you start to do this, and when you start to realize that good or bad, everything is my own creation, you first of all have to be number 9, be forgiving, nourishing, and loving towards yourself. And secondary, you have to be forgiving, nourishing, and loving towards others. All right, number 10 rule is practice gratitude. Be thankful, count your blessings. Look at what you have. The science, the research has shown that gratitude improves your health, you sleep better, cardiovascular health, and all of that. So I want to close with a quote from the Rig Veda. It's from the final chapter of the 10th mandala. Meet together, talk together. Let your minds apprehend alike, in like manner as the ancient gods concurring accepted the portion of the sacrifice. Common be the prayer of these assembled worshipers. Common be the requirement. Common the purpose. Associated be the desire. I repeat for you a common prayer. I offer for you with a common oblation. Common worshipers, be your intention to heal everyone. Commonly be the wishes of your hearts. Commonly be your thoughts, so that there may be thorough union among you. Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ian.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to wait for a second till the screen is cleared. Let's see.
Just a second.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for another fabulous presentation and very informative. So, so we have come to the final speaker for today. Just a few reminders that this meeting is recorded live and it would be uploaded later after editing on YouTube, and it would be uploaded on YouTube permanently for posterity. This meeting is also being live streamed on the YouTube channel of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. I want to thank all of our speakers, all 5 speakers, for their time, for their sacrifice, for their effort, their knowledge, their availability, and for sharing this information. Thank you all very much. We have right now, we have about 10 minutes for question and answer. So if you have a question, you have a comment, you have a contribution, please raise your electronic hand. At the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button. And then you would be unmuted and you'd be allowed to speak. So we have about 10 minutes. So if there's any questions, this is the time. So
We have Roseanne with a question.
let's see. Roseanne with a question. Cool. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Roseanne. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much for to all the speakers. I myself am a practitioner of Ayurveda. I was very, very, very ill some years ago. Did not believe my Western doctors when they told me that I had 6 months to live. And I went into Ayurveda at that point. That was more than 10 years ago. Okay. Having said that, however, I do have a question, which is, I'm not sure if any of the speakers talked about the role of genes, to genetic makeup that we come into the world with, and what's the role of those genes? If anyone can talk about that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
So we'll see if any of the speakers would like to address that. The role of genes.
Yeah, okay, Cess, I'll
Okay.
attempt to explain
Okay.
some aspects of it. Yeah. So the entire field of creation has, in fact, shown that the genetic expression within any creature codifies certain elements of how the body and its numerous capacities are structured. So genes, in fact, are coding for expression of that consciousness that resides in every living thing. Now, whilst the science of genetics has evolved over a period of time, what we now understand is that genes are not fixed in their expression. So they can switch on and they can switch off. And so in the late 60s, another field was unfolded called epigenetics. And what epigenetics was saying is that the expression of the gene is in fact controlled by the environment, the inner and the outer environment, which could really mean anything from food to hormonal environments. A whole cascade of things are switching on and off these genetic expressions. And the ultimate aspect that we have to understand is a very abstract one, in that our mental and emotional state, which is a kind of an environment, rapidly and largely dictates how the body unfolds through this epigenetic process. So today we're seeing a huge surge in autoimmune diseases, and clinical medicine, modern medicine, still doesn't understand why this is happening. How is it that so many people are expressing autoimmune diseases? Well, this is the classic epigenetics. It's the state of the mind. It is the toxic state of the unpurified consciousness, as it were, that is setting the stage for all these different things. What modern medicine does and modern science does is that we measure that. The fact that we can typify what kind of genes are expressing, whether they're coding for breast cancer, etc., doesn't actually tell us that the gene is the cause of the disease. It is what is switching on the gene. And in a way, there's information now even indicating that a lot of our karmic payback, whatever the karmic conditions that we are carrying in a given life, are codified into the genes. And so that science of how do we negate the karmic, let's call them energies for now, or vibrations, patterns, all of these, in fact, can be dealt with by, for example, the science of Jyotish, to understand, well, what patterns are prevailing. And then how do you counter that? There are different sciences called yagyas that can reverse that. And then, of course, the whole body of knowledge of Ayurveda of how to reverse much of the epigenetics. So Ayurveda is an unchanging wisdom. It is an eternal knowledge base that will forever exist because it's based and rooted in the laws of nature. What we as humans have to do is to find out, how do we optimally identify what needs to be purified within that mind-body complex that we call the human being and the environment. So yeah, there are the genes, and then there are the epigenetics, which is the switching on and the switching off of the genes. In its own right, the body types in Ayurveda are in fact gene expressions. It is the fact that we can read what the principles of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha are, how they manifest in the psychophysiology. They are all expressions of the genes. And in fact, the genes are then expressing how the 5 elements come together in any given individual by virtue of the genetic material of the parents. What environment you're born into is the environment that goes beyond space and time of any one life. There are other patterns that are being expressed coming from ancestry, coming from past lives of what we have carried. So I hope that does explain it to some extent. That's my understanding of how my teacher shared it with me. A very elegant understanding of how genes show up in any individual's prakruti, which is the birth body type.
Thank you.
So, yes, Sis, you are muted.
just said thank you to Roseanne for the question and to Dr. Coupon for answering. Mhm.
Right. So allow me to ask the question, but first I want to thank you, the moderator, and also our chairperson, Radhika, having done a very good job for first time. And let me also thank the 5 presenters. They were excellent. Let me ask the specific questions. As people like me get moving in age, we tend to suffer with arthritis in the joints. And doctors would tell us that there is no cure for arthritis. So can you enlighten us on this topic, please? Anybody, any of the 5 speakers?
Does anyone else want to try?
Just unmute, Lucy.
Yeah,
or
so
anybody else. Yeah.
I know Doc will have an answer for that, but there are many different researches done that the transcendental meditation and the panchakarma, the Ayurveda massages and so, reverses the aging process. And when it reverses all aspects, also like the epigenetics, as Doc mentioned. So it does have a positive influence on reversing the aging process. And there was a study done that people that meditate for 5 years or longer have a biological age of 12 to 15 years younger than a chronological age. So they may be 60 years old in age, but they function like a 40-year-old. And if you go to Fairfield, Iowa, where there's 3,000 meditators in TM, you cannot recognize people's age because they look younger than normal. And that's because the reversal of aging process takes place. I think Dr. Lucia wants to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to answer, well, maybe a little bit on the question of painful joints. When I think maybe 2 speakers spoke about the undigested food in the body, ama, right? When there is a lot of ama in the body or toxins in the body, undigested foods, the body is very intelligent and it does not want this in the bloodstream because what passes in the heart? Blood, right? The brain, blood. So it does not want it in the bloodstream and it tries to find places to hide it or to put it away, at least temporarily. And the body, so intelligent, regards the joints as empty space or any weak area in the body, and it will pack it there. And you can feel when it gets full because first the joint feels stiff. After the stiffness, it starts to hurt. That is, it has passed its capacity. And of course, it can go further and damage the cartilage and damage the bone itself if we allow it to. Now, one of the ways, because, you know, I practice Maharishi Ayurveda also, I'm a Maharishi Ayurvedic consultant. One way I deal with this is cleansing. Cleansing, laxative, internal basti. And it's amazing. The effect is immediate. Once we've cleaned that whole digestive system, the body is intelligent enough. It remembers what it placed where, and it goes to fetch it because the blood can only support so much toxins there floating in the bloodstream at any one time. So if we cleanse that, cleanse the intestines, the whole digestive system, the whole digestive tract, if we cleanse that, then the body does something. It takes out a little bit of what it hid everywhere. And if we, you know, take care of the body, do the panchakarma regularly, at least each season, 4 times a year. If we can't, well, 2 is enough, but 4 times a year. At the change of every season, some imbalance happens in the body. So this is one of the ways. Another way is rubbing. You know, you can rub with some balm, some, ointment or something that creates, especially that creates heat. Another very, very, very simple thing that you can do is you take a towel, like a face towel, you dip it in hot water, as hot as you can stand it, and you wrap that knee that is hurting. What happens? The knee gets heated up because when, let's say, a leg or a knee is impaired, if you feel it, it may be cold unless an infection starts and it starts to, to be hotter. But when you heat it up like this and you move it slowly, what happens? The heating up of the muscles and all that environment helps the strengthen that environment, and it pushes the toxin back out. But it gives temporary relief. What can give permanent relief is having an Ayurvedic treatment, a panchakarma done properly. If you have it properly done, no problem, the knee pain goes away.
So again, thank you for that beautiful answer, Lucia. And thank you, Dr. Kumar. So Dr. Kumar, it's 5:03. What do we do here?
Let's take a few questions or responses here.
Sorry, could I just clarify that question about the knee pain? So important to remember that there are two types of arthritis. The one is the rheumatoid type of arthritis, which is linked to that armor. That's what Lucille was describing. So that requires the panchakarma and the cleansing. The other type, which I think you were referring to, Dr. Kumar, is osteoarthritis. Now, this is a classic vata aggravation, especially of the joints and the bones. This is a drying, desiccating kind of process, which is typical of a vata aggravation. So as we get older, once we get to about 55, 60, we're entering the vata phase of our life. Everything is drying out. So we wrinkle, the bones begin to harden and thin out. And that drying out is the eventual discomfort that you're describing, which is the pain, the actual friction between the bone once the cartilage has worn out. So there's a very simple way to help that along. It's a very easy thing to do. And if you can mix two different oils, the one is organic black sesame oil, 50%, and the other oil is kalunji oil. The Nigella sativa is its botanical name, and mix them up and massage those knees or your lower back, wherever the pain is. Massage it in for about 5 minutes and then apply some heat, like a wheat bag or a hot water bottle, for about 3 or 4 minutes. And that will substantially improve the pain. If you can get the arthritis diagnosed, the osteoarthritis, early, then there are nutrients that are absolutely critical that will reverse this. Omega-3 salmon oil, there's a special 8-fraction omega-3. You must have magnesium in it as well. And that will start to reverse at a cellular level the regrowth of the cartilage. Of course, nowadays we have nutrients like glucosamine that can rapidly help the joint to recover. So those of you having that kind of osteoarthritis earlier on, definitely reversible. But if it's around 60, etc., then this massage with this oil combination will be really, really remarkable in how much of pain can be relieved. But of course, if you have a rheumatoid arthritis, you need the panchakarma. That's the only way to reverse that condition. Okay, thank you.
I think Mona had something, and then Radha.
Can I go?
Unmute.
1 minute.
Oh, yes, Dr. Arvind.
According to naturopathy, there is, I think, 10 to 12 type of arthritis. You can call like a gout or osteoarthritis or leukemia or they explain like rheumatism, rheumatoid, different. But why the arthritis is coming? You are talking about the arthritis. You didn't mention for the knee or like that. Arthritis can happen any part of the body. Naturopathy says more comfort, more discomfort. You see, in this age, in this time, people are becoming more and more and more comfortable. Like they never wanted to sit down. Before, I think 30 or 40 years back, people are sitting down and eating food across the leg like that. They go lot of walking and like that. Today's everything is gone. So yes, there is according to Vata, there is arthritis. According to X is Kapha, there is arthritis. According to X is Pitta, there is arthritis. But if you change your diet according to your constitution, this arthritis slowly is going to be okay. And now, many places, yeah, you can do, we did it, this Panch Karma, yes. But if you're not going to clean internally, like if you're not going to balance your Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, you will never be able. Many things, like you have to put it in your diet, like calcium, with a lot of calcium in your food. Now, like like only one thing, let me tell you, like people who is taking white sugar is going to use your inner calcium to digest their component. So if you stop the white sugar, instead of the white sugar, you go for the jaggery or honey or brown sugar. That is going to balance your calcium level in your body. And of course, like in Ayurveda, we call some oil, castor, like castor oil. I think you heard about the castor oil. Castor oil, if you take with the tea or with the milk or with any things, that is going to help you for a lot of joint pain, because that is lubrication is going to help you. That calcium is going to help you for lubrication and mobilization of your joint. But nature cure say, first you have to wake up early and do all joint exercise, walking, and take sun bath, and good diet, fruits and vegetable a lot, good sleep is going to help you. Sunbath is the most important thing. Like if you have a knee problem, like osteoarthritis in your knee, you just put it castor oil on it and take sunbath. Or you can do infrared light. Heat is going to help you. This is actually naturopathy is without medicine, without any expensive. That you can do your own things. No need of this. Like like medicine. Or Ayurvedic medicine also, like the Yoga Panch Karma, I'm also teaching here, I'm doing the Panch Karma, but we are going to give them a lot of medicine to continue for 3 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, like that. Okay, that I'm not going to, but if you change your lifestyle, in my slides I told you, 3 causes of the disease: diet, exercise, and stress. You balance, everything's going to be in your means balance. You can help.
Yeah, Mona, and then Radha.
Yes.
Arthritis.
Mona?
Yes. First of all, when joint pain will start, we have to check uric acid, because when uric acid start, then after uric acid, second stage of arthritis. If uric acid is going too much, so first of all, when I get any patient, and somebody is coming with joint pain and anything for the body pain, So first, I doing him or her treatment for the uric acid. After I give them one oil with sesame oil and that mustard oil, mixture of this, and after I put inside carom seed, uh, ginger juice, and that garlic juice. That all I make one oil, herbal oil to massage. So every day, twice a day, that massage oil they will use, and after massage, they have to give hot pack and cold pack. And after that, I give them that nowadays when they are going to doctor, always they told, they will tell them, you have vitamin D3 deficiency. So that deficiency, because nowadays we are all living in a one flat system, we not get that sun bath and overall. So that's why they take in a week 1 tablets of vitamin D3, and they think, okay, now we are going to okay. But inside, if she is a lady, so ladies give birth and all the things. So many calcium, iron deficiency inside her body. So first I make another that biotin powder also, all type of nuts like walnuts, almonds, cashew nuts, uh, and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, magaz seeds, all things, even oats and soya chunks also, I put there. That is the base. After I ask her, uh, what is the another problems do you have? So she tell me like, I have joint pain also, I have that diabetes, or I have blood pressure. So as per her another disease, also I put inside like calcium deficiency or vitamin D deficiency. I put inside that ashwagandha, satavari, like NKC, Nari Kalyan Churna, that Brahmi and Jatamasi, also I use inside that. So that biotin powder is perfect medicine. So that one is give her that strength also, and another disease or another deficiency, iron, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, all the types of deficiency this biotin powder will finish.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Radha.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to thank everybody, of course, but especially thank Dr. Kopanji on answering this question that you just asked about the specificness of the arthritis, what he mentioned. And he's right, the kati basti, the external basti helps in this. I have seen people, it's because it's all about lubrication. It's just like when two bones are going on each other, that will hurt. So when there's lubrication, it's healing, you know. So of course, all the other parts it's needed to be done. But what Dr. Kopanji mentioned, that the external basti would be very beneficial. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Sis.
So,
Olga.
yes, thank you to all the presenters for all the fabulous presentations. Thank you to all of you who are here today with us, tonight with us. Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for giving me this chance to do this today. And I'd like to turn back over to Devika Thomas to conclude today's program.
Thank you, Sis. On behalf of the entire team at the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center for being a wonderful moderator. Special thanks to all the speakers. We sincerely appreciate your invaluable contribution in our Zoom today, hosted by the Indo-Cultural Center. Please continue to give us your suggestions and donations as they help us to improve growing bigger and better. I thank the advisory and planning team led by our very own hardworking and committed Dr. Kumar Mahaber. Not forgetting Robin Ramsing, who records, edits, and uploads all of our programs to our website and YouTube for all future generations of people. Next Sunday's topic will be the future of the sugar industry in the Indian diaspora. Please visit our channel on YouTube at Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center to view all our past recordings. I am Davika Thomas from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. Goodbye and be safe. May God bless you all. Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
very much for spending this part of the Sunday with us. So we will meet again. Remember, we have this forum